Imagine working yourself to death only to reincarnate into a trashy web novel as Jackson, a genius martial artist destined to be a mindless simp. The moment I open my eyes, my toxic fiancée Evelyn corners me, raising her hand to slap me across the face for her cheating lover. The old Jackson would have taken it, but my survival instincts kick in instantly. My elbow strikes first. I counterattack, break the engagement, and vow to rewrite my tragic fate. Will I survive the corrupt traps of this world, or crush everyone who betrayed me? Watch to find out. My head throbbed violently. I opened my eyes, expecting the familiar, cold walls of my corporate office where I had just collapsed from overwork. Instead, I was staring at a grand, ancient wooden ceiling. Sudden, foreign memories rushed into my brain like a tidal wave. Jackson. Martial artist. A genius disciple who gave up everything, his resources, his pride, his entire life, just to be a mindless simp for one ungrateful woman. I had reincarnated into the trashy web novel I read before dying. Jackson. Stand up right now. The heavy oak doors of my chamber slammed open. Evelyn walked in, her face twisted in pure arrogance. Behind her was Liam, looking timid but hiding a smug, manipulative smile. Evelyn? What is the meaning of this? I asked, my voice steady despite the chaos in my mind. Don't play dumb with me, she snapped, crossing her arms. Liam's top-grade cultivation pills went missing from his pavilion this morning. Only someone with your martial rank could bypass his security. Hand them back. I scoffed, sitting up. You think I stole from him? I literally gave you my own pill allocation last week, Evelyn. Liam stepped forward, squeezing her shoulder. Evelyn, it's fine. If Jackson needed them to fix his stagnant cultivation, I don't mind. I just wish he had asked. No, Liam. You are too kind. Evelyn yelled, her eyes flashing with disgust as she glared at me. He is just a pathetic loser who can't accept that you are more talented. Jackson, you are a disgrace. Watch your mouth, I warned, stepping out of bed. The raw, powerful martial energy flowing through my new veins felt incredible. I wasn't the weak simp anymore. How dare you look at me like that? Evelyn screamed, stepping into my space. You owe Liam an apology on your knees. Before I could even speak, she raised her right hand, swinging it wildly toward my face. The original Jackson would have closed his eyes and taken the slap just to appease her. But my modern survival instincts and trained reflexes kicked in instantly. Time seemed to slow down. I didn't back away. Instead, I stepped forward into her guard. My elbow struck first. With a swift, brutal counterattack, my elbow slammed directly into her shoulder before her hand could even touch my cheek. The impact sent a shockwave through the room. Evelyn gasped as she went flying backward, crashing hard against the heavy wooden table, shattering a porcelain vase. The room went dead silent. Liam's jaw dropped, his face turning pale. Evelyn clutched her shoulder on the floor, staring at me in absolute shock and horror. I looked down at my hands, feeling the lingering power, and smirked. Jackson, you hit me? She whimpered. I didn't hit you. I defended myself, I said coldly, walking over to stand right above her. Listen closely, Evelyn. This pathetic farce is over. As of right now, our engagement is officially broken. Get out of my sight. You will pay for this, Jackson. I swear I will ruin you. Liam's frantic threats echoed down the hallway as he dragged a crying Evelyn out of my quarters. By noon, the entire sect was buzzing. Everywhere I walked, whispers followed me like a foul odor. Former friends intentionally crossed the street when they saw me coming. Look, there's the coward who beats women because he's jealous of Liam, one disciple muttered loudly to another. Disgusting. To think we used to look up to him, the other replied, spitting on the ground. The sudden isolation stung deeper than I expected. My chest tightened with an ugly mixture of anger and betrayal. These were people I had helped, people the old Jackson had bled for. Now they discarded me over a cheap lie. But as the heavy silence of the courtyard closed in on me, a cold realization settled into my gut. I didn't need their fake loyalty, and I certainly didn't need a trashy female lead ruining my life. I needed raw, undeniable power to crush their narrative. Brother Jackson. A familiar voice broke through my thoughts. Kai, my younger martial brother, ran up to me with a worried look on his face. He didn't shrink back, instead he gripped my shoulder firmly. Are you all right? The rumors are wild, but I know you'd never strike without reason. Evelyn has been poisoning everyone's minds for months. I'm fine, Kai, I said, a genuine smile breaking through my tense expression. I just finally opened my eyes. Good. Because you aren't fighting this alone, a stern, booming voice interrupted. Master Vance stepped out from the shadows of the training hall, his arms crossed over his chest. His sharp eyes scanned me, assessing my posture. You handled that spoiled girl with your elbow, didn't you? A bit reckless but effective. Master Vance, I said, bowing slightly. I apologize if I brought shame to your hall. Shame? You finally showed some backbone, Vance snorted, stepping closer. But Evelyn's father is furious. The Elder Council is already turning against you. They are using this drama to set a trap for the upcoming grand tournament. Kai nodded eagerly, leaning in. He's right, brother. They want to force a public trial by combat between you and Liam to strip you of your rank. Let them try, I countered coldly. Liam is weak. He was weak, Master Vance corrected, his voice dropping to a low whisper. But my scouts discovered a secret. Liam has been secretly visiting the black market. He is cheating, using banned spiritual herbs to artificially boost his cultivation speed before the tournament. Banned herbs? I narrowed my eyes. That explains his sudden breakthrough. Exactly, Kai said, his fists clenching. If he uses that power against you in front of the council, you could be permanently crippled. I looked at Master Vance, then at Kai. For the first time since waking up in this world, the heavy weight of isolation lifted, replaced by a burning desire to rewrite my tragic fate. Then we let him cheat, I said, a dark smirk playing on my lips. I will face him and I will expose him in front of the entire world. Stop right there, Jackson. A harsh voice echoed through the quiet aisles of the Grand Library. I turned to see Elder Raymond, Evelyn's father, marching toward me. His face was twisted in anger, and his powerful aura flared, shaking the nearby bookshelves. Elder Raymond, I said, keeping my voice entirely calm. Is there a problem? You dare ask that? He hissed, cornering me against a wall. You assaulted my daughter and humiliated our family name. I demand you return every single cultivation resource you stole from Evelyn immediately, or I will have you thrown into the dungeon. I didn't blink. I pulled a rolled parchment from my sleeve and held it up. Stole? These are the official sect distribution records, signed by the Grand Treasurer. They clearly show I gave Evelyn 80% of my own resources over the past year. Legally, she owes me. Raymond snatched the parchment, his eyes scanning the text. His face turned from red to a pale, furious white. He knew he couldn't win this legally. You think you're clever, boy? We will see how long that arrogance lasts. He threw the parchment at my chest and stormed out. Knowing they were desperate, I went to the pavilion gardens to clear my head and pour a cup of hot, soothing spiritual tea. I wouldn't drink that if I were you, a sharp, melodic voice whispered from the shadows of the bamboo trees. A young woman stepped out, wearing the distinct purple robes of a rival clan. Her sharp, intelligent eyes locked onto mine. Who are you? I asked, gripping my cup tightly. Seraphina, she replied, crossing her arms. A master alchemist. And someone who absolutely despises Liam's fake, manipulative behavior. I just saw Evelyn's maid sneak into the kitchens and slip a drop of nightshade viper venom into your personal tea leaves. Liam hired her to do it. My heart pounded with rage, but I forced a cold smile. Poison? Right before the tournament? They truly are pathetic. It will paralyze your core within hours, Seraphina warned, stepping closer. If you drink it, you lose everything. If you report it, they will just deny it and destroy the evidence. What is your move, Jackson? I noticed a slight rustle in the bushes behind us. A pair of malicious eyes was watching me from the dark. It was Evelyn's spy waiting to confirm the deed. An unexpected idea formed in my mind. Thank you for the warning, Seraphina, I whispered loudly, raising my voice just enough for the hidden spy to hear. But I am quite thirsty. Are you insane? Seraphina gasped. I gave her a quick, subtle wink, then raised the cup to my lips. I tilted my head back, pouring the warm liquid into my mouth. In reality, I used a hidden pocket of martial energy in my throat to trap the liquid, keeping it from reaching my stomach. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the shadow in the bushes sprint away into the darkness, eager to report my final downfall to Liam and Evelyn. The roar of thousands of spectators echoed across the massive stone arena. I walked out onto the fighting stage, purposely slowing my steps and breathing heavily. I made sure my skin looked pale, mimicking the paralyzing effects of the nightshade viper venom. Look at him, a disciple mocked from the crowd. He can barely walk. The coward is terrified of Liam. He deserves it after what he did to Evelyn, another shouted back. Across the stone stage, Liam and Evelyn stood together. Seeing my staggered stance, Evelyn smirked triumphantly, while Liam's eyes flashed with arrogant joy. They genuinely believed their poison had ruined my core. The unbiased High Elder stepped forward into the center of the ring, raising his hand. This trial by combat is officially recognized by the Elder Council. Disciples Jackson and Liam, step forward. Liam walked up confidently, drawing his shining silver blade. High Elder, since Jackson has insulted my honor and Evelyn's dignity, I challenge him to a direct match. No restrictions. Let the heavens judge who is right. Do you accept this challenge, Jackson? The referee asked, looking at me with a frown. I accept, I muttered, my voice sounding weak and strained. Begin, the referee shouted, dropping his hand. Liam leaped forward instantly. Die, you pathetic loser. His sword flashed wildly. Because I was pretending to be weakened, I only blocked and dodged at the very last second. Liam dominated the first 2 minutes of the fight, forcing me back toward the edge of the arena. Every strike of his blade sent a loud clang through the stadium. Give up, Jackson. Evelyn screamed loudly from the front row of the crowd, her voice dripping with mockery. You were always just a dog chasing after me. You have no talent compared to Liam. Kneel and beg for forgiveness, and maybe he will spare your miserable life. Liam laughed, executing a heavy downward slash that forced me to my knees. You heard her, Jackson. You are nothing. The entire crowd cheered, expecting my immediate defeat. But as I sat on one knee, the fake weakness vanished from my face. My pale expression transformed into a cold, terrifying smile. What are you smiling at? Liam asked, a sudden flicker of doubt crossing his eyes. You really thought that cheap poison worked, didn't you? I whispered, my voice perfectly steady. What? Liam gasped, his eyes widening in sudden horror. I erupted with a massive explosion of pure, unsuppressed martial energy, shattering the stone beneath my feet. I stood up instantly, effortlessly deflecting his heavy sword. Serafina warned me about your venom yesterday, Liam, I said loudly, my voice echoing across the entire arena. I never drank it. Before he could even process my words, I executed my most devastating martial arts technique. I stepped deep into his guard, my palm striking the flat of his blade. A loud snap echoed through the stadium as Liam's silver sword shattered into a dozen flying metal pieces. Impossible. Liam screamed. I didn't give him a second to breathe. I grabbed his collar and slammed him brutally onto the stone floor, pinning his chest under my heavy boot. The sheer impact cracked the arena stage. The entire crowd went completely dead silent. Thousands of spectators gasped in absolute shock, staring at the absolute shift of power. Let me go. I'll kill you. Liam screamed beneath my boot, his face red with humiliation. Suddenly, his veins turned pitch black and a foul, violent aura erupted from his body. Look at his veins, a disciple in the crowd yelled. That's the forbidden Dark Overlord technique. He's trying to kill Jackson with forbidden arts, another gasped. Liam roared, throwing a desperate, lethal punch directly at my chest. This was exactly what I wanted. I leaped backward, letting his black-flamed fist strike empty air, exposing his illegal cultivation to thousands of witnesses. Silence. A voice like thunder shook the entire stadium. Sect Master Marcus descended from the highest balcony, his majestic aura instantly crushing Liam's dark energy and pinning him to the floor. Liam, you dare use forbidden, soul-consuming techniques inside my arena? Sect Master, wait. Elder Raymond shouted, rushing from the Elder's pavilion. My future son-in-law was clearly framed by Jackson. Jackson must have used a demonic trick to make Liam look corrupt. Framed? I think not, Elder Raymond, a sharp voice interrupted. Serafina walked onto the stage, holding up a glowing crystal vial and a stack of black market ledgers. Sect Master Marcus, I am Serafina of the Alchemist clan. This vial contains the exact nightshade viper venom Liam used to poison Jackson's tea. These ledgers also prove Liam bought banned cultivation herbs using Elder Raymond's personal seal. Sect Master Marcus snatched the ledgers, his eyes flashing with absolute fury. Raymond, you used your authority to fund a cheating criminal and poison a genius disciple. Sect Master, please? I knew nothing about this. Raymond whimpered, dropping to his knees. Save your breath, Marcus hissed. Elder Raymond, you are officially stripped of your rank and demoted to a low-level guard. As for you, Liam? Marcus stepped toward the trembling boy, striking his lower abdomen. A sickening crack echoed as Liam's cultivation core shattered into pieces. Your powers are destroyed. You are permanently banished from the sect. No. My cultivation. My life. Liam wailed, coughing up blood as the guards dragged him away like a dead dog. I stood tall in the center of the arena, the undisputed victor. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Evelyn standing frozen by the stone railing. Her face was completely pale, her lips trembling in absolute horror. She looked at Liam, who was now a broken, useless cripple, and then she looked up at me, radiating pure, unstoppable martial power. "Jackson," she whispered, her voice cracking with sudden, desperate regret. She realized the truth too late. Her prestigious status was entirely gone, her cheating lover was ruined, and the man she had arrogantly slapped and rejected was now the ultimate top disciple of the entire sect. Karma had finally struck, and it was devastatingly beautiful. The heavy evening rain poured down, washing the dirt off the stone pathways near the empty training grounds. I walked alone, enjoying the cool air, when a frantic shadow rushed out from behind a pillar, blocking my path. "Jackson, please stop. Just give me 1 minute." It was Evelyn. Her expensive silk dress was completely soaked, and her hair clung messily to her face. The cold arrogance she always wore was entirely gone, replaced by desperate, swollen eyes. "Get out of my way, Evelyn," I said, my voice completely flat. "Jackson, please, you have to listen to me," she cried, stepping closer as the rain splattered around us. Everything was a mistake. Liam manipulated me. He lied to me about the cultivation pills and he threatened my father's position. "I never wanted to hurt you, I swear." "Is that the best lie you can come up with?" I scoffed, crossing my arms. "You seemed pretty excited to watch me get humiliated today." "No. I was just confused. I was blinded by his tricks." She reached out with trembling hands trying to grab my arm, but I stepped back, letting her fingers clutch empty, wet air. Tears mixed with the rain on her cheeks. "Don't you remember our childhood, Jackson? Remember when we promised to reach the peak of the martial world together? We were supposed to be together forever." "The old Jackson remembered that," I replied, looking down at her with cold, empty eyes. "He remembered every single promise. And how did you repay him? With insults, betrayal, and a poison plot." "I was wrong. I will change, Jackson, I promise," she sobbed, dropping her hands to her sides, shaking violently from the cold and the sheer panic. "I will do anything you want. Just speak to the sect master. Tell him to restore my father's rank. We can start over. I love you, Jackson. I've always loved you." "You don't love me, Evelyn. You love the power and status I now hold," I said, a cruel, mocking smile touching my lips. I leaned in slightly, making sure every word pierced her soul. "Let me make this perfectly clear to you. The Jackson who loved you died the day you raised your hand against him. My elbow struck first back then, and my heart will never open for you again. Jackson, no. Please." I turned my back on her and walked away into the dark, rainy night. Behind me, a loud splash echoed as Evelyn collapsed directly to her knees in the mud. Her desperate, broken wails were drowned out by the thunder, her life completely ruined by her own greed. Karma had fully taken its course. "Disciples of the Golden Phoenix Sect, behold your new leader." Sect Master Marcus's booming voice echoed across the crowded courtyard. He placed a heavy, gold-trimmed jade medallion directly into my hand. "I officially appoint Jackson as the young lord. His strength, integrity, and honor represent the future of our entire clan." The massive crowd exploded into deafening cheers. Thousands of martial artists bowed their heads to me in absolute respect. "You earned this, brother," Kai said, grinning broadly as he stepped up to congratulate me. "The whole sect finally sees who you truly are. No one will ever dare whisper a lie against your name again." "He speaks the truth, Jackson," Master Vance added, placing a firm, heavy hand onto my shoulder. His strict face broke into a rare, proud smile. "You didn't just break through your limits. You proved that real martial power comes from within, not from cheap shortcuts or manipulation. I am honored to call you my disciple." "Thank you both. I couldn't have shattered my old fate without your loyalty," I replied, gripping the jade medallion tightly as the crowd's applause continued to fill the air. "And what about your future plans, young lord?" a sharp, familiar voice asked from behind me. Serafina walked out from the elder's pavilion, holding a rare, glowing spiritual herb. Her intelligent eyes locked onto mine with a genuine smile. "My clan wants to establish an exclusive alliance with you. We can combine our top-tier alchemy with your unparalleled martial skills. Together we could easily rule the entire region. What do you say to a true partnership, Jackson? A partnership built on actual trust?" I smiled, looking at her. "That sounds like a path worth taking, Serafina. Let's do it." After the ceremony concluded, I walked alone to the highest balcony of the Grand Palace, looking out over the vast, mist-covered mountains. The crisp wind swept past my face, and for the first time since waking up in this world, I felt a deep, true sense of peace and absolute freedom. The toxic relationships, the manipulation, and the tragic ending destined for the original Jackson were completely erased. I didn't just survive the script of this trashy novel, I completely rewrote it into my own glorious empire,